So yeah. Anyways, let's try to get through some of these a little quicker. Kirk Cousins, I would put him like kind of towards the
Totally mid.
bottom of playoff.
Totally mid.
No, no way.
Okay. Well, all right. So he goes to the playoffs.
He
Sure.
was
Okay.
13-4 this. Like I know the Seahawks or the Vikings. I'm sorry, the Vikings had like some weird stuff going on there, but like 13-4 is 13-4. Like he's a
Okay.
playoff caliber quarterback. He's done it multiple times in his
And
career.
I used to be a Kirk Cousins truther, so that actually means a lot that I was like shouting totally mid. But I'll get all right. Go playoff quarterbacks because he literally did it.
And he's done it
But it's
like
hard to.
several times.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I get
You
it.
win.
I get
You're
it.
right.
Yeah.
I think my brain, like my heart, after this last weekend, 2 weekends ago, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I've seen enough of Kirk Cousins. But you're right. He is a playoff quarterback. He's good enough to get you to the first round of the playoffs. And maybe even a bye. He almost got him a bye, but like, what a shame that would have been for Vikings fans to wait 2 weeks to see them lose to the Giants or the Niners. Or
Yeah. But okay, Matthew Stafford. I like this one's kind of tough because do we like weigh what he's done in the past, the fact that he won a Super Bowl 2 years
No,
ago?
it has to be what we think about. What is
What is
this
he
is kind
now?
of like ending 2022-23 season, and
Right.
what is like the
The
next season
right. That's
2023 going to look like?
right. So what do you think about Matthew Stafford? Because you could make an argument that he is the second tier. You could make an argument for third tier, and in my case, I think I'm going to make an argument that he's like kind of maybe right behind Tua and totally mid.
He's a bottom. If that team would have been a little healthier this season, we wouldn't have seen the Seahawks in the playoffs. Is kind of where I'm landing.
Okay.
And so I think
He
he's
did get
better
hurt.
than Geno. Yeah, and I think
You think he's better than Tua? I honestly, you know what? I agree with it. I think he's better than
he's a
Kirk
playoff
Cousins.
quarterback.
Yeah, so do I. And I think he's above Kirk Cousins as well.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Deshaun
So
Watson.
you're even sort of ranking the system. So
a little.
I mean,
a little.
it's kind of
loosely.
a shame that Daniel Jones isn't the number one in that Josh Allen tier, I guess tier. But I'll go with it.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's going at the very bottom of that one. No veto power on that.
I'm really glad that we're doing Josh Allen towards the end. By the way, let's breeze through some because we are going to fight over Josh Allen.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson is.
He's got to prove it.
I think he does too. I'll put him at the very top of totally mid because
like he is good. We've seen him do
phenomenal,
really special things.
But with all the shit around him and with all the it's just a lot of crap, man. It's and we didn't really see a ton this year. Like we saw a couple pretty good games. We saw a couple
and he
stinkers.
didn't play for 23 months, so he's not supposed to be. It's a hard game. I don't know, man.
Honestly, you know what? I think we should put him at the bottom of playoff quarterbacks because I still kind of believe that he can become that dude.
I'll go on record on January 23rd, 2023 to say this. As long as he doesn't have legal issues throughout the offseason and he's able to practice and he's able to be with the team and he's able to do all of that, as long as all that occurs, I'll say the Cleveland Browns will make the playoffs next year. They'll be a wild card or division winning team. Probably not a division winning team because I think the Bengals are going to lose 4 games in the first 7 weeks like they always do, but then they're going to turn it on and they're going to win the division.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I agree. Okay, Davis Mills, CFL stud.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's not a dumpster fire. I think he's a good enough talent to play for a team in the professional capacity. I just don't know that it's quite as a starter in the NFL anymore.
Yeah, Jared Goff, he was really good the second half of the season, but I don't know if I'd totally believe it. I think I'm totally like at the top of totally mid on him, maybe behind Tua.
How old is Jared Goff? Super Bowl winning quarterback Jared Goff is 28 years old.
Golly, that's still so young. Yeah, he lost. He's a Super Bowl participant. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, those guys don't really get remembered. All right, put him above, to me, just above Deshaun Watson, just because we actually saw him be good this season. And
Okay.
I mean, you talk about if they'd have played one of the first 8 games as well as they played the last 8 games, they'd have been in the playoffs. Again, you would have seen the Seahawks not there.
Yeah, so. I wonder how much of that though is just due to the offense. The offense was just so good. They have one of the best offensive lines, a phenomenal offensive coordinator, great playmakers. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down with this.
I don't like that argument because then you have to start trying to talk down like Jalen Hurts because you see Herbert and Fields doing not as much, but they have a lot less, and so you're starting to be like, well, are they just equals? They're not equals. Jalen Hurts is better because of what he did on the field.
Yeah.
Did he get lucky? Sure, but
okay, Russell Wilson, dude, I'm done. I'm done with Russ.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's going to be a starting quarterback next year, so he's got to go totally mid.
Yeah, I think he's at the
just above Mayfield, probably.
Yeah, because I don't even know if I think Mayfield is going to be a starter next year. So I'll go with that. Just
you're right. Actually, we probably need to put Mayfield down a peg.
I agree.
He's not going to start.
I'll put him at the top of CFL studs. Okay. Zach Newton, they have Joe Flacco here. Okay, we're not going to rank Cam Newton or Joe Flacco since they have Zach Wilson. Okay, Joe Burrow. After the win against Josh Allen, I think that it's time to put
Josh Allen wasn't on the field when Joe Burrow was on the field.
That's true, but I think that it's time to put Joe Burrow in modern GOAT. Like he's
above Patrick Mahomes.
No, not above Patrick. I don't think. I can't do that. He has to do it for
Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL today.
I'm not there yet, and I'm really not there yet. Like I need to see it for one more season. I need to or if he beats Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship,
dude.
If he does, then at that point we can start having that discussion. But I don't know, man.
He's hurt his rookie season.
Yeah.
And then he immediately takes his team to the playoffs his sophomore season. And now he's in the AFC Championship game his third season.
Wait, he took his team to the Super Bowl.
That's what I meant. Yeah, the Super Bowl last season. And now he's in the AFC. That's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't even get to finish his rookie. Imagine if he got to play his rookie season.
Yeah. And he's done it. He's done. This year his offensive line was a little better, but still, he really hasn't had a good offensive line his entire
This offensive line last week was awful.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about it the other day. I said he's a quarterback to me like Tom Brady, where he can elevate a group of guys. Like he commands it. He's one of those guys who can command every facet of the offense, including the offensive line and what do they need to be doing and how does he get that communicated to them in a terrible environment in Buffalo in the snow, loud, emotional game. I loved it. He said, because they sold tickets to the to the neutral site game, and he said you better send refunds at the end of the game. Like, dude, the dude is the best. He's the best. He's like Joe Namath for the NFL too. Like, he is the coolest one. He doesn't have the drama that Patrick Mahomes has. He's going to be so much better for the brand. He's the best quarterback in the NFL.
He has already beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs once. So
100% of their matchups, he's beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The only thing that I have with Joe Burrow right now is the fact that his offense is so good outside of the offensive line. Like, I don't think I can overstate how good of a wide receiver core Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd is. Like, it's overwhelmingly good. But I'll tentatively put him above Patrick Mahomes. But I don't love it. I really don't. I almost think that this is like that this weekend is a tiebreaker. Okay.
This is an interesting question. If Daniel Jones had the same exact offense as Joe Burrow, who would be better?
Joe
because
Burrow.
I think
100%.
they'd be.
No, you're an idiot. No, you're out of your
just
mind.
Wanted to say it.
You're out of your mind. Mitch
We're
Trubisky.
Not doing Trubisky either, are we?
No. Well, we're gonna pretend that he's Kenny Pickett.
Ooh, rising star. Rising stud.
Rising stud? You think Kenny Pickett's that good?
Yeah.
You do?
Did you watch football?
Yeah.
And this is another situation where it's a little bit like it's a quarterback ranking, and it's like a what team would I like to be a young quarterback on? And it's Pittsburgh Steelers, who are always 500 or better.
Okay.
They're always solid.
When I think about a rising stud, I think about a guy that is that I think that I'm like fairly confident can elevate his game to be at either the top end of playoff quarterbacks or to enter these top two tiers. Kenny Pickett, I don't think is that guy. I think Kenny Pickett can be at like maybe the bottom of playoff quarterbacks.
Sorry, I'm clearing my throat. Do you think Kenny Pickett is nowhere near Ben Roethlisberger in talent?
No, I don't.
Nowhere near. Okay, no. That's fair. As long as you think that, then okay, I'll at least give your argument credit. I don't think he's necessarily Ben Roethlisberger because I think he's one of the best quarterbacks. That's ever come through Pittsburgh. But
yeah, for sure, he's a Hall of Famer.
But I think Kenny Pickett's good enough to potentially show us that in the next 3 years. That's why I think he's a rising stud.
You think Kenny Pickett could be a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback?
I didn't say that.
Well, that's what Ben Roethlisberger is, and you said.
But I said in the next 3 years we could be having that discussion. I'm not having that discussion today.
Yeah,
I haven't seen enough to say he's definitely not a Hall of Fame quarterback.
You think there is a universe within the multiverse where Kenny Pickett becomes a Hall of Fame quarterback?
Yeah, I could see it.
You could? Okay, I'll put him at the bottom.
I could see it more likely than Tua, more likely than Geno and Derek and Mac and Russell.
More likely,
maybe not Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is probably already
more likely than Tua.
Yeah.
Really? Well, I mean, like take the injuries out. You still think it's more likely than Tua?
As likely.
As likely. Wow. Because it's not like Kenny Pickett was dealing with a bad offense either. His offensive line's a little weak, but he has Najee Harris, Pat Freiermuth, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. Like, he had some players on that team. And he was okay, but okay. All right. I'll roll with you on that. I'm not as big of a believer, but I'll let you have that.
He was averaging 250 yards a game passing. His touchdown interception was not ideal.
He had a couple like real bad games though that kind of drug that down.
But so did Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck their rookie seasons. And I'm not saying he's that level, but like all those guys go through that. And I also saw some really great throws. And I'm big on Pickens. I just hope Pickens stays out of trouble and doesn't go Antonio Brown psycho towards later when he's like the guy, because I think he's the guy.
I'll give Kenny Pickett this. He was better than I thought he'd be. I was off the Kenny Pickett bandwagon whenever he was drafted. I was not a big fan.
People were taking him in late in their fantasy drafts, and you're like, you idiots.
Yeah. Okay, Zach Wilson at this point, I still have some a little bitty sliver of hope for Zach Wilson, but it's starting to look pretty ugly. And if it weren't for that hope, I'd put him in dumpster fire because good Lord. But I think I'll put him in CFL stud for now.
I think if he doesn't do it this year, like this next season, and he's gonna have to be done. Like I don't think he can be a backup in the NFL, which is a shame. Like a lot of these guys, like you can go be a bad starter for a while and then you can get a backup job for 15 years. Mm-hmm. I don't think he can, man. I don't think he can be. He's a locker room issue. Yeah. No players want to bring their moms around. Like I don't know if I would want to be around that.
Yeah,
guy.
that's he is an issue for sure. He's gonna have to turn some things around personally and professionally if he wants to do it. But okay, Josh Allen.
Let's skip him for now.
You want to do Josh Allen last?
We're going to do Josh Allen last.
Okay, now well, if we're doing that, the next one's kind of tough because Trey Lance is coming back next year. Like, he's going to
start.
That's the point. Like, are we ranking Brock Purdy or are we ranking Trey Lance? If we're ranking Brock Purdy, I'd put him at the top of totally mid. With a chance to, like, maybe become a rising stud and go beyond that. But but I think I would rank him actually not even at the top of totally mid. I'd rank him behind Tua. But if we're ranking Trey Lance on the other hand, honestly, my heart wants to put him in rising studs because I believe so strongly in him as a talent. But as given the injury, given the fact that in the 6 plays that we saw before the injury, I mean, he was, whatever. But I don't know what to do with it with this ranking. I guess I'll put him in totally mid, but who are we even ranking? I think I would just put both behind Tua and totally mid. I think they'll be fine, but I don't think they'll be great. Because Trey Lance hasn't started he's only started 1 game and he got hurt in it, and or did he start?
He got hurt in that rain game. Is that the one he got hurt in?
Yeah, was it the second game of the year he got hurt?
The monsoon. Yeah, I can't remember. Let me pull him up here.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Because the monsoon game is an outlier. That game doesn't count as far as like what you should expect. I mean, players playing that once a decade.
Yeah, I don't. If we're ranking either one, I think I'd put him in totally mid. That's my point. But with Trey Lance, I'm way more tempted to put him in like maybe the bottom of rising studs or maybe a little over. No, I don't even think I'd put him over Pickett just because of the injury.
He was injured in week 2 against the Seahawks. I got to just simply say Brock Purdy is in the NFC Championship game. Brock Purdy is in the playoff QB conversation. He's above Tua at this point.
Okay. Here's the thing with the playoff quarterback thing, though, is that, like, I view a playoff quarterback as a guy that can take a good roster and get it to the playoffs. Brock Purdy has an elite roster that he's kind of riding to the playoffs. I think he's I think he's an NFL starting caliber quarterback. Potentially, like I probably want to see him.
He'll at least get a job doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, he is with literally the best coach in the NFL for young quarterbacks. Like the system is just perfect. He just has everything possible going for him. So I don't know if I would. I don't think I can put him in playoff quarterbacks. I think totally mid, like maybe the upper end of totally mid, like I said.
Okay. I think either one of these guys are at worst right above Tua.
Right above? Okay.
Right above Tua.
Man, you're really low on Tua.
Well,
the injury thing.
You just talk about like the guys he has. Like again, we're weighing in all of it. If you're going to say because of the roster,
wait, you said that we can't do that with Kenny Pickett. You said that's not fair. Like whenever I was talking about how Kenny Pickett had like a good supporting cast around him on the offense, you were like, "Oh, well, that's not fair." Then we have to talk about Joe Burrow.
All right, listen. Daniel Jones should be in the modern GOAT tier, but I'll give it to you right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's so much that I'm low on Tua. It's that I think for Tua, I genuinely think he's going to retire. Like, I think he might. And I don't want to pontificate that. That's why I'm kind of putting him there.
Yeah, for sure.
What I would say, the most interesting thing, and what do you do if you're the Niners? Trey Lance, like, passes physicals. Like, he had successful surgery. If he comes back and he's healthy.
You let him compete. That's what you do.
You let him compete, but, like, then how long do you keep both? Because what if one guy wins and you start off the season 4-0, do you trade the other guy? And particularly, do you try to make it Brock Purdy who wins, starts off 4-0, and you trade Trey Lance? You talk about salary cap savings, having all the pieces in the world.
I think you ride it as long as you can to get clarification, just to gather information, like to really try to figure out which one of these guys is the guy that we want to roll with in the future. And maybe wait for another team to have like a devastating quarterback injury so that you can leverage that in a trade to get more assets, maybe.
Yeah, the trade deadline makes it so tricky, though. And if you go the whole season, then you have a guy who hasn't played in 24 months, and it's like, oh, we don't want to pay for him anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's my issue.
I think it's a great problem to have, though.
Yeah. They've had it twice now. They had it with Smith and Kaepernick.
Okay. Ryan Tannehill, bottom of totally mid. Maybe above. Yeah, I think bottom. I think bottom, a totally mid. He was good last year, but this year he's just not.
He's an NFL quarterback.
Yeah. Dak, I think, is somewhere like in the middle of. I need to move Justin Fields down this list, by the way. I like Justin Fields, but yeah, I think like right there. Dak, I think, could go above Matt Stafford in like playoff QB. Does that seem right to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Lamar is, when healthy, I would have him like right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the and I think that provided he stays healthy, which is never a given.
You accidentally put him one slot too high, though.
No, that's about right.
Daniel Jones.
That's about right.
By the way, you're using your veto on. Have you used your veto yet?
Because
you're going to use it on Josh Allen. I know you will.
I maybe. We'll see. Tom Brady, I'm putting him maybe below.
This
Dak.
is a weird spot. Yeah,
it is. Weird. We don't even know if he's going to be coming back, but if he does, I think
he gets with the right team. He can. I think he's right there. He's a championship
playoff
caliber quarterback. Yeah.
Yep. Matt Ryan.
Retirement, CFL stud or dumpster fire. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll put him at the bottom of CFL stud.
He was on TV yesterday. I think he's priming the pump to be one of those guys who does the pregame shows.
Yep.
This guy.
Aaron Rodgers. Okay, he was real bad this year, dude. He was real bad. I still
we have too many playoff quarterbacks.
Will it roll over if we do this? Yeah. It'll do this.
We need to title that one just fringe playoff quarterbacks, because it's like these guys that are right there. Because I guess we could easily take like Deshaun Watson out. He hasn't been in a long time. Pickett's never been. Like, we could take those guys down a peg.
Yeah.
But I do want to differentiate them a hair.
Okay, so just like fringe.
They're an 8-8 possible on a decent roster. As long as they're not given Justin Fields' roster, they're not going to be the first pick in the draft. Like, let's just put it that way.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if I want to put him at the bottom of this. I would put him over Pickett. I would put him over
right there.
Yeah.
He's not over Goff. Yeah, he's not over Goff though.
Yeah. I mean, that's so crazy to say that.
But see, he's falling. I think this is the thing. Like, him and Brady are falling down because they were obvious top 2 tiers the last several years.
Right.
And then you have these other guys who are mid that are rising. So obviously retirement kicks them out.
Honest to God, I almost put Aaron Rodgers in totally mid. Almost did.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
I'm very happy, by the way, with the new era of quarterbacks finally happening, and like these guys finally, like, we're almost done with Rodgers, Brady, and I loved their careers and all the stuff that they brought. But like, Ben's done, Flacco's still hanging in there, but like, that era was a lot of fun in the late 2000s. But now it's time for this new group.
Yeah,
Dak Prescott's the old guy. Jared Goff's the old guy. It's time for that to be what we're watching on Sundays.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Tom. Aaron's kind of cool, I guess. I used to hate Aaron Rodgers, but I've kind of warmed up to him a little bit more. But
suppose Jared Goff. This is just change the subject. Suppose Jared Goff goes to the NFC Championship game next year, and I'm not saying that's happening, but suppose he does. Suppose then he wins a Super Bowl with the Lions. Wow. At any point in his career, and then just kind of continues, because Jameson Williams didn't even come on yet. They're going to keep getting better. This whole team is like, suppose he becomes that guy that throws like 4,500 plus yards a year. He kind of doesn't throw a ton of picks. What are we saying about Jared Goff when he's 36 years old? Does he have a shot
at that point, I mean, like, pigs are going to be flying everywhere and like all this shit's going to, so I don't even think like Jared Goff will be on the note, you know, like I think we'll be talking about all the other cool stuff that's happening.
Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions.
I think the Lions are a Super Bowl contender moving forward, but I think that quarterback is the biggest question mark that they have, because we're talking about like maybe 6 out of the last 8 weeks where he was really, really good. And other than that, like, he has been totally mid for his entire career, pretty much. So, we'll see. I love the roster. they have the 6th overall pick. It would not be a terrible decision, in my opinion, to go and get a guy like Anthony Richardson, who I was talking about earlier, for the Seahawks. That's another guy that I could see maybe the Lions targeting to let him sit for a year or two under Goff. The other thing about Goff is that if you keep him, the contract is just so crazy for a guy that hasn't shown that he can be the dude. But
he only threw 7 interceptions this season.
Yeah, he was good.
He threw half as many interceptions as Mahomes, as Josh Allen.
He was great. But
as
he
Dak,
also
as Derek Carr.
He was also dumping the ball like 5 yards down the field to Amon-Ra St. Brown and letting him just like go to work for most of the year as well.
I don't care about that at all. Like, that's part of it. Like, Alex Smith did that for 20 years, and aside from a freak leg injury, I thought he was one of the most underrated quarterbacks.
No, I'm just saying that interceptions can be skewed, because if you're pushing the ball down the field a lot more, you're going to throw interceptions. So you have to add some context there.
All right.
Okay.
I'm delaying the video. We need to do Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
CFL stud?
No. Trevor is going to go
above Brady.
Yeah, above Brady.
Above Dak for me, actually.
Really? Above Dak?
Yeah, because of the youth. I will give him the youth.
He is ascending.
Kyler Murray needs to go down this list.
I love the talent, but with the injury stuff, I would be willing to put him maybe right there. Yeah. Okay. I can roll with that. Okay, and now finally the one
so you still hold your veto.
I still
do. If you agree with this, then you can use your veto on any other guy on this list.
Except Daniel Jones, right?
Correct. You can't veto a veto. Okay. Although I am disappointed that you put Lamar Jackson above him. Okay. Joshua Patrick Allen.
Is that his middle name?
Yes, I just looked it up.
Okay.
When I think a guy is something special, I call him Cade Leviticus Morrow. It's Leviticus every time. You know.
Okay,
so his real middle name indicates that I think he is not what others think. I'm going to say he needs to be rising stars just above Justin Herbert. I don't even think he's in the Josh Allen tier, I guess, tier.
Okay, well,
at this point.
If we put him there and he doesn't go in the Josh Allen tier, if Josh Allen doesn't go in the Josh Allen tier, if we put him there, we're basically calling him a fringe playoff quarterback, because he is not like a rising stud anymore. Like, he's established in the league.
Sure.
I think putting him in fringe playoff even at the top of fringe playoff quarterbacks, is insane.
I love Josh Allen. So know that. Just know that as I say this. This season, I've seen too much that makes me think
he regressed.
He really ain't about that life long term.
He regressed for sure. But there is no damn way that I'm putting him below Daniel Jones. There is no way that that's happening. Okay.
All right.
So
I've said what I said.
Yeah, I'm using my veto here. I'm putting Josh Allen here, because the reason I say that is because at the start of the year, I would have put Josh Allen, like at the start of the year, it would have been like this. It would have been Mahomes 1, Allen 2, and then everybody else. But at this point, I think he regressed enough this year to where he actually does go in the Josh Allen tier. I do think it would be funny to put him here below the Josh Allen tier.
That's where he belongs, I believe.
Yeah. But
because he's not, and in fact, I think it's a testament to that. He really did regress a lot. Like, we had this, like, Josh Allen's the potential next one, you know, like he's the next guy who's going to compete with Mahomes. But I think Burrow is better to compete with Mahomes long term. I think Lamar Jackson is better. And then on the NFC side of the ball, I think you have bona fide New York Football Giants starter who is not losing his job, Daniel Leviticus Jones, and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Can't use the same middle name, but I genuinely think that, like, we're about to see this really cool era, and that's if the NFC East teams can, like, stay figured out.
Yeah, I just okay. Josh Allen, I still think he can be that guy, and I'm not convinced. Like a lot of his, like, didn't he have like 2 interception games? Like that's bad. That's not great. But from what we've seen, his ability to make something out of nothing, and his arm strength, his ability to run with the football, the fact that when he gets into the red zone, it's almost like a locked touchdown, like every single time. Like he's one of the best red zone quarterbacks in the NFL because of his ability to run physically. And yeah, when I look at all that, I still think that he has modern GOAT potential, even number 1 quarterback in the league potential. And he's still very young. It took him a while to develop, and maybe those 2 years where he was elite was a flash in the pan, and this is the start of a regression. Maybe you're right, but I'm not ready to make that jump yet.
It was as a his high level of success with his low level of turnovers in those years, I'm starting to think are correlated to his working with Brian Daboll. Because you also saw Jones turn around from being pretty turnover prone to like probably one of the best in the league this year with respect to fumbles plus interceptions totals for a guy who runs and throws.
Well, if it was, then who's to say that Josh Allen won't get a better offensive coordinator in the future, right? Like who's to say that? I mean, Brian Daboll is phenomenal. He's one of the best offensive minds in the NFL, but there are a lot of really, really, really good young offensive minds that could come up. Maybe even it's a head coach. Maybe McDermott is out of there in a couple years. I don't know. I don't know what is correlated with Josh Allen being like a top tier number 1 quarterback, but it does seem like Brian Daboll had something to do with it. But if it is, I think the talent is there. I think he is a top 3 talent in the NFL. I even think he's more talented than Jalen Hurts is. But yeah, I just can't put him any lower than 4th.
I'd give you that. I just think what we saw this year,
it was concerning. I'm not going to say it indicates anything, but I will say it's concerning because
no. I mean, indicates that in the moment Jalen Hurts is better, better off.
Yeah,
like, it's a weird combo of just, is he better? I don't know. Is he better off right now? Yes.
Yeah.
I think that the off season for some of these guys will be real interesting for us to maybe redo this. Revisit, just pull up this list and start from there and just rearrange it based on off-season moves come June or July.
Yeah.
How about this? So Brian Daboll, just so it doesn't seem like we're just all about him, he has coached, just hold that right there. He's coached Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, Tua Tagovailoa. I think that's everybody. In the last 6 years, he's coached all 4 of those quarterbacks.
Wow. Yeah. He's great,
offensive coordinator for Bama. Tua's true freshman year when he was redshirted and was the backup to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So he's been around. Great. Like he's.
Yeah. Okay, but that's it, guys. That probably went way freaking longer than we wanted it to. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're gonna be doing more stuff like this. We're kind of taking the channel in a slightly different direction. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow, like, subscribe, all that. Follow
and let us know that Josh Allen should be in the Rising Stars Fringe QB playoff QB tier.
Yeah, guys, leave comments. That really helps the channel when you do that. So yeah, see you guys later.
Thanks.